Steel and fire didn't win World War II alone, not even close. Behind every rifle shot and tank charge was a simple, almost boring object that quietly decided who lived, who advanced, and who went home. It didn't roar. It didn't explode. But without it, armies stalled, soldiers died faster, and battles were lost. This humble tool outperformed guns and tanks not by killing, but by keeping people alive long enough to fight. And here's the kicker. It's the same tool every serious survivalist should own today. Why dirt beat steel in World War II? World War II wasn't won by charging across open fields like in old paintings. It was won by hugging the ground. Soldiers who failed to dig didn't last long. Machine guns, artillery, mortars, and air power made exposed troops easy targets. The only real defense was dirt. Fast. Deep. Right now. A soldier with a shovel could turn flat ground into protection within minutes. A shallow scrape reduced bullet exposure. A deeper foxhole stopped shrapnel. Proper entrenchment absorbed blast waves that would otherwise tear bodies apart. Tanks rolled over positions that were too hard to dig, but they stalled when the ground was prepared, softened, trapped, or reshaped. This is why military manuals of World War II drilled one rule into every recruit. When you stop, you dig. Immediately. No debate. The shovel as a life-saving machine. Guns kill. Shovels save. That's not poetry, that's battlefield math. Artillery caused the majority of casualties in World War II, not rifles, not pistols, explosives raining from miles away. A properly dug position reduced lethal fragments dramatically. Even a small change in ground profile could be the difference between a wound and instant death. Veterans repeatedly said the same thing after the war. The fastest diggers survived longer. Units that entrenched with discipline took fewer losses. Entire offensives paused because the enemy had time to dig in properly. Dirt stopped steel. In frozen ground, soldiers hacked at earth with entrenching tools until their hands bled. In deserts, they dug despite collapse and heat. In forests, they carved roots and rocks, because not digging was a death sentence. Here's where it gets interesting. Tanks dominated headlines, but terrain decided whether tanks mattered at all. Shovels shaped anti-tank defenses, trenches stopped armor cold, ditches immobilized tracks, camouflage pits swallowed vehicles. Infantry with nothing more than shovels turned open land into tank traps overnight. In urban combat, rubble was rearranged with tools to block movement. Streets were narrowed, angles were changed. Tanks that couldn't maneuver became metal coffins. A tank, without infantry support, was vulnerable. Infantry without cover was doomed. The shovel created that cover. Quietly. Relentlessly. Why did every soldier carry one? The entrenching tool wasn't optional gear. It was standard issue. Compact, foldable, brutally simple. Soldiers used it to dig foxholes, latrines, weapon pits, drainage channels, and bunkers. They used it to bury supplies, conceal movement, and even clear snow for warmth and insulation. Some soldiers sharpened the edge and used it in close combat when ammunition ran out. It wasn't designed for killing, but, well, it did what was necessary. In prisoner of war camps, shovels were the backbone of escape tunnels. In defensive lines, they built entire underground worlds. In winter, they saved fingers and toes by creating shelter from wind and frost. One tool. Endless uses. What does World War II teach modern survivalists? Here's where this hits home. Strip away the uniforms and flags, and World War II was a massive survival lesson. The shovel remains one of the most important tools you can own. Not flashy, not glamorous, but unstoppable in value. With it, you can create shelter when there is none. You can regulate temperature by going underground. You can manage water flow, prevent flooding, dig fire pits, build windbreaks, and store food safely. You can signal, defend, and move unnoticed. In emergencies, dirt is protection, insulation, and concealment all at once. Modern survival culture often obsesses over weapons and gadgets. World War II proves a harder truth. The ability to shape your environment beats raw firepower. Every time. The mindset behind the tool, what made the shovel powerful wasn't the steel, it was the mindset. Digging means preparation, patience, understanding that danger is coming even if you can't see it yet. Soldiers who dug early survived bombardments, others didn't. The shovel rewarded foresight. That lesson applies everywhere. Disasters don't announce themselves politely. The people who prepare before impact always fare better than those who react too late. The most overlooked hero of the war. History celebrates generals, tanks, planes, and guns, but wars are actually won by ordinary people doing unglamorous work under pressure, digging in the rain, digging at night, digging while shells fall nearby. The shovel never made headlines. It never got medals. But without it, World War II would have been shorter, bloodier, and far more one-sided. That's why this channel exists. 0 Hour World War II isn't about shiny myths. It's about the real tools, decisions, and survival truths that shaped history. If this story changed the way you see war, survival, or history itself, make sure you subscribe to 0 Hour World War II. Share this video with someone who thinks power only comes from weapons. And stay with us, because the next forgotten lesson might just save your life someday.